DeAndre Hopkins, one of the league's premier wide receivers, recently joined the Tennessee Titans. This move brings about both positives and negatives for Hopkins and the team. Now, while most people think it's all good for the Titans, let's also look at the other side and see whether this move is right for Tennessee. Starting off with Hopkins himself. He's an elite talent and brings an exceptional skill set to the Titans with his route running, reliable hands, and ability to make contested catches. He is going to be a dynamic element to the Titans' passing attack. He also is a reliable target. He's been consistent as one of the most reliable targets in the league, and his ability to come down with difficult catches and crucial moments makes him an invaluable asset for any quarterback, including Ryan Tannehill. The Titans seem to lack such a reliable option in the past, but there are going to be a bit of adjustments that Hopkins will be forced to make joining his new team. This means learning a completely new offensive system and developing chemistry with his new QB1, Ryan Tannehill. This will certainly affect his adjustment period early in the season as he works to establish a connection. And although that could create some early issues, it is 100% not the thing we are focused on when we are analyzing this Hopkins move. Now that we've established that Hopkins is an elite receiver, we can start to focus on how he'll fit in with the Tennessee Titans offense. Now, the red zone threat seems to be one of the most positive things he brings forward. His size, his physicality, and his exceptional ball skills all make him an elite receiver in the red zone. In 2021, he had 15 targets, and in 2022, he had 6 targets. Now, keep in mind, he only played 9 or 10 games in both of those seasons, so about 21 targets in 19 games in the red zone. So you would think that he would have a big impact on the Tennessee Titans' red zone offense. But you could not be more mistaken in this situation. The Titans ranked 6th in red zone offense scoring efficiency at about 64%. This means they scored touchdowns on 64% of their attempts inside the red zone. So how much is Hopkins really going to move up their ranking if they're already the 6th best in the NFL? Realistically, he won't be able to help them move up their ranking, but he will help them get into the red zone more. So I'm not too sure whether we can really discount Hopkins in the red zone for this team just yet. Next, we move on to competition for targets. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill now has Hopkins, Treylon Burks, Chig Owonkwo, Kyle Phillips, and Chris Moore as primary receiving targets. And not to mention, in the backfield, Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears are running and receiving options for the Titans. Looking at the list, it's going to be a real head-scratcher to see how Ryan Tannehill will be able to deliver the ball to all of these players. But obviously, Hopkins is going to get a fair share of the targets, being the elite receiver he is. Although I do think Tajay Spears and Treylon Burks bring the biggest threats to DeAndre Hopkins, especially when Spears comes in as a third down back this year. Overall, competition for targets is one of my major concerns for this move. If D-Hop can have developed the chemistry with Ryan early, that should be a concern that is easily avoided by the end of the year. Next, let's talk about the offensive line. The Titans' offensive line has faced challenges in recent seasons and leading to extreme pressure on the quarterback. If the line struggles to provide adequate protection, it could impact Tannehill's ability to deliver accurate passes to Hopkins. The potential lack of pass protection may hinder Hopkins' ability to showcase his skills consistently. It also creates the issue of durability for the QB1 position, which we have seen to have issues in the past. This year, the Titans' offensive line ranks 32nd in a rankings report by Sharp Football Analysis. In comparison, DeAndre Hopkins' latest team, the Arizona Cardinals, ranks 26th heading into the 2023 year. I would also like to point out that this offensive line is one of the most highly used offensive lines in the NFL. Tennessee has the 4th highest run percentage overall, which is not a benefit for Hopkins either. Compared to his last team, the Cardinals, who had the 6th lowest run percentage in the 2022 year. So it's kind of ironic when looking at the offensive line how Hopkins decided to make a move away from a favorable situation by going to Tennessee. I don't see Tennessee mixing up the entire offensive scheme for one player. Hopkins will be another element to this offense, but it will not affect how the Titans do things. This is another one of my concerns for the fit here. Hopkins is going to have to take more of a team role on this team, knowing that he's not going to be the number one alpha guy and Derrick Henry will be. Not sure if he's going to be able to mentally be able to do that, but if he is, then it's obviously a fit. But with his ego, will he be able to set that aside in order to try to win some games? Which I'm still not sure that they're going to be able to do. This brings me to my final Tennessee concern. The quarterback situation. They drafted Will Levis this year. They drafted Malik Willis last year. I'm not sure if either one of those guys are really capable of being an NFL playoff quarterback right now. They have Ryan Tannehill, but durability has been the issue and likely will be the issue again with the lack of offensive line to help him out. Now, any one of these guys could play with this offensive line, and if I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I would not risk what he had for Will Levis or Malik Willis. But hey, it doesn't matter anymore. The move is already made. Hopefully, the potential lack of pass protection won't hinder his ability. Let's move on to the exterior issues, the non-Tennessee issues, which are the division rivals. The Texans should not be in this conversation, so I'm going to go ahead and skip them. The Colts haven't really done enough unless Anthony Richardson is just an incredible impact immediately, which means he has to beat out Gardner Minshew for the starting job and then unleash everything he has on the NFL. I don't think that's happening either, so I'm going to go ahead and discount the Colts. So it's just the Tennessee Titans or the Jacksonville Jaguars. Either one of them could end up with the division, but Jacksonville seems to be in better shape overall. They have more pieces than the Titans do currently, but DeAndre Hopkins can obviously change that for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill can change that for the Titans. Anything going wrong for Tennessee could be catastrophic to their season. If Derrick Henry goes down, catastrophic to their season. If DeAndre Hopkins gets hurt, catastrophic to their season. Ryan Tannehill going down would be the end of their season no matter what happens. So, a lot are riding on these three pieces being healthy the entire year, and that's obviously not going to be a promise with the state of their offensive line. The Titans need to immediately address their offensive line issue and pray nobody gets injured this year for this whole thing to work out. Hopkins' positive aspects can only help the offense if it's running. With Malik Willis or Will Levis at the helm, this offense is not going to be able to work. I don't think the Titans will win the division this year. I think it still belongs to Jacksonville. Ultimately, DeAndre Hopkins will probably be faced with another sort of trade situation as we saw this year, next year when he realizes what a failure this was. Till then, we can only watch and find out what happens with the Tennessee Titans. We appreciate all your support, and we'll see you guys on the next one.